back, and what is it that you want to talk to me about? By the way, can I share something? I
Yes.
have not been meditating enough.
Really?
Yeah, I actually find that it makes me... I've been working a lot. You know that. You've been working a lot. And I feel like it's distracting me from taking the time for myself, and it kind of like bums me out. And I can feel my body like, almost like you crave, like, I don't know, for me, I crave dark chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
I crave meditation. Like my body must feel something so fantastic through the process of me doing it that not doing it, it's like it almost yearn for it. Is that the right word?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I mean, your body knows what's good. Paul Chek talks about that. Like if
PC.
you're craving Brussels sprouts,
I love Brussels sprouts.
that's obviously a good thing. So you should go in that direction. You know,
Your top 2 vegetables for you, go.
well, it's not really a vegetable.
What?
I love corn.
Corn's a vegetable.
Yeah, but
Corn's
I mean,
so,
I think
like a sweet corn on a cob.
But I mean, corn is like nowadays. I think with the way that they've made it to what
Engineered
it is,
it.
yeah, I think it's just a sugar pill. I don't think it's actual
corn.
I don't think it's actual. But you can buy organic corn at Whole Foods or whatever. But I love corn. Corn's number one. I love carrots a lot.
Oh, carrots are really
good. I love sprouts. Any sprouts. We've been
Yeah.
eating a ton of them.
Yeah,
We
sprouts
create
are
them in
bomb.
the jar now.
Favorite vegetable for me, chickpea.
Mm.
I love it.
Well, you're all about the vegetables.
I love the chickpea. Second favorite vegetable is probably sprouts.
Mm.
And then, close runner up is the Brussels sprout.
Yeah, the Brussels sprout is so interesting because it's like this tightly packed nutrient,
Yeah.
dense bomb.
And it comes from this tiny little mustard seed.
Yeah.
It's all the same mustard plant, which people don't understand. The mustard plant has so many different varieties of vegetables that we eat. Hold on. I got to look this up now.
Well, Jesus had a parable on the mustard seed.
Well, it's because
He
it's
said,
the smallest one.
Yeah, it's the smallest one. Yeah, he said if you have faith, but I would like to see what in the Greek what that word is actually meant. They may have translated it wrong, but
Yeah.
he said if you have faith that you could move a mountain, like you could look at a mountain and call it to move and it would move. Could you imagine moving a granite mountain? We know Raw talks about that.
Yeah.
They were able to do that.
The rest of the pyramids were built by people, but they built the first one overnight. They said the people just woke up and they're walking around like loincloths. Like what? Like,
Oh wow! Yeah, look at these
It's
perfectly spaced.
are you kidding me? Think about it. If I'm thinking about like I had a low level of intelligence,
Yeah,
little common sense, and then I wake up one day in the Egyptian desert, right? I'm over in Cairo, and then this fucking monster pyramid is standing there. I get right on the ground. I worship the shit out of that thing.
well, it's. I love things that baffle archaeologists or scientists or whatever it may be.
Oh, there's a couple of good things.
Physicists.
Let's talk about those things. Go ahead.
And the pyramids is one of them. That it's like how astronomically did they get them perfectly aligned, and then how did they know back then? Because the theory, and I've listened to several things on this. The theory that they're saying that there was a race before the Egyptians, and that's when the pyramids was actually not this constructed, because it was constructed in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
That I forgot what dynasty it was. That they said
There were
that
21 dynasties in Egypt.
yeah, and they were saying there was the earliest one was the one when the pyramids came out, and that those people were quite different,
Completely different.
than what the other pyramids that came out with, because they were just copycatting.
Yeah, that's because in the early days you had the Nubian princesses and stuff like that with the big heads and shit. But a lot of those interesting things like Teotihuacan or whatever the hell it's called, Machu Picchu, all those places are really interesting for how that they deal with stone. But what about some other cool stuff? You ready for this? So in Africa, they were doing uranium mining. So you can't send people down there, to go get this stuff. There's actually, most people don't know this, there are naturally occurring nuclear reactions in the Earth's crust. There's actually, the Earth has its own fission reactions in the crust itself, naturally that have occurred. It's almost like this giant energy thing, the ball. So anyway, these guys are mining uranium, and they find a bolt in the rock bed, thousands of feet down, in the rock. Like it's been there for a long time. Like the rock has formed around the bolt. And you know what they do? You know what they do with that, right? So it goes to the Smithsonian,
Right.
goes for peer review, and then if it obstructs the timeline for what the general consensus of historians say this is how things have developed, or geologists,
right?
if it upsets that, then they actually remove it. They say it doesn't exist essentially in our timeline as human beings until there's further proof to say that it exists at that point. Another cool thing, you ready for this? There are some rocks in the ground that actually have frogs inside of them.
Yes, I've heard of this. Yeah.
So frogs have actually, this is a really interesting thing about frogs.
They can mummify themselves, right?
They have the ability to slow the heart rate so much that they're it's like almost like borderline dead. Mm-hmm. But it preserves themselves. And during the winter months, frogs go under the crust because it's about 55 degrees at about 6 feet down. So when they're hanging out down there, things happen. I've essentially gone into this super hibernation state too long. Well, the rock fuses around it. And when people have found these rocks, crack them open, and a frog will hop out.
Yeah.
Shortly after die. But the fact is, there's really interesting things like that happen. Or you have things like... right.
Another one for me that's always baffled me since I've been a child.
Tell me.
Is the seashells on Mount Everest.
That's crazy. We have shells over here on the Sandia mountain range. Mm-hmm. You're up at the top. The way that crust has moved up, there was clearly water that had gone over there. So that's also cool because it says, okay, first of all, Everest was driven up by the plates, right? And the Himalayas and then the Caucasus mountain range, everything's squeezing each other over there.
But I get like water moving stuff and evolution and all that, but to see like life on it,
that's crazy.
Seashell is life.
Well, it's almost as crazy as in upper Norway with the palm trees.
Yes, yeah.
Someone's like, wait, there's a palm tree up here?
Yes.
Under the ice?
Or isn't it the Sierra Desert every 700 years becomes green or something like that?
What?
Yeah, look it up. I'm going to make sure I'm right.
Why is that? What? I don't even know what I would... How would I... was Sierra or Sahara?
The Sahara.
Oh, like over here in the U.S.? The Sierras?
Oh, no, I'm
Sahara?
sorry. Yeah, in Africa, yeah.
Oh, so every 6,000 years.
Is it every 6,000 years it turns green?
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Think about it. So 6,000 years ago,
yeah,
that whole area, which you look at now, had trees and shit. And grass.
It's crazy, isn't it? Have you been to Great Sand Dune National Monument?
Yes, in Colorado.
It's so funny. When I got to the front gate to the national park, I looked at the lady who was running the gate, the national park officer, and I said, "What caused this?" "Oh, it's just the weathering of the mountain." And I looked at her, I was like, "What about all the other mountains around it? Just one mountain happened to weather and then create this massive silica deposit?" And I'm like, "Yeah, see, I'm like, none of this makes any sense."
Yeah.
And if you go to it,
weird as fuck.
It's really strange.
Yes.
And it's huge.
Yes.
Like you're walking up to it, you're like, oh my God, this keeps going.
Yes.
But it's the only one. And it's one of the finest silica deposits, essentially sand. Right? Sand has a threshold anywhere from like 70 to like 90 something percent for the quality of the silica in it. This is like almost pure. Like it's truly a magical place to go. But again, it's like another one of those anomalies that we just try and fit into our history.
When it's warm there.
Yeah.
Like that silica gets hot.
Yeah, you don't want to walk around bare
your
feet.
Yeah. I was walking around barefooted.
I bet you were.
And I was like, oh, this is a little warm.
Jesus in the desert.
Lawrence Arabia.
That's great. Hidalgo, anything like that. Yeah, I love those films.
That's interesting. But yeah.
Barefoot on the hot sand.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've burnt my feet so many times. Florida's that way too. Florida beaches.
Oh, my God.
That sand gets so hot.
Just bakes.
Yeah.
It's just hot glass.
Yeah, that's all it is. People don't realize that.
If I take a borosilicate like Pyrex like dish out of the oven, it's gonna fucking roast my hand.
Yeah,
you don't think it's gonna happen to your feet?
It's amazing how the human body is so sensitive to environment.
Extremely sensitive.
But yeah, we're the apex.
Yeah, we're not.
I mean, it depends on the environment that we're put into. But I mean, as far as thought and creating things,
we are the apex.
And I think that's why. To look at, and I don't know what animals fully have consciousness. I don't know if a dolphin does, or not, or how much of consciousness they have. But the ability that we have to observe ourselves, I think is so cool because no other animal observes themselves.
No.
Like a lion doesn't look and saying, I wonder how the gazelles are thinking about me eating them.
Well, the elephants do that, and the dolphins do it.
Or because maybe they're super smart.
Yeah, I would say probably.
Yeah.
Does a cuttlefish know its thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Or something like that, right? Like a cuttlefish knows its. I don't know. I'm taking.
Well, some things have like what was it that they study? I know monkeys, but I mean monkeys don't really have consciousness. Like I mean, I watched the.
Here's another time.
I watched the not orangutans.
Gombe?
No, I watched that whole thing where they were eating monkeys. Where they would come in, like the bigger guys would come in.
Oh, they're cannibals.
Dude, and they're like holding a little kid's head, like a little monkey's head.
Oh, yeah, they'll do that.
Just, ripped it off his body.
They're total cannibals.
And they're just in emotion. It's just all ego.
It's called drive instinct.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's another funny thing. Okay, so if we have descended from the apes,
yeah,
why is it that no other fucking apes have evolved at the rate which we have?
I know, that's the one that always gets me.
It's absolute nonsense.
You would think you would find somewhere some guy, like in a cave or somewhere like Bigfoot, the Bigfoot scenario. Yeah. You would think you would find some dude somewhere that is half ape, half man.
I haven't seen him.
They're like, well, because you're looking at a time frame this small, and it was millions of years, but you still have a spectrum and a scale.
Yeah,
that 100,000 year difference is going to equate to there being one around now. There should be a multiple tribe of them.
Well, you know how they say, well, we share genetics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do, but I think they have the inverse wrong. I think they're saying the ape came before us. I think we came before the ape.
Well, if you hold to alien creators,
yeah,
and us having alien DNA, then why would, and that's how the Bible is. The Bible separates, in Genesis 1, it separates man. God creates man.
Yeah.
And that is totally separate from
all the other
animals.
Flora and fauna.
Yeah. They're two separate distinctions.
Well, if I think about it logically, though, it makes more sense why we would be at our evolutionary rate.
Yes.
And nothing else is caught up, which would tell me that some other more advanced thing bred with a Neanderthal or something of the sort, that genus. And then, you have derivatives of it that really didn't consciously evolve, but us in this offshoot.
Well, it had to been. I mean, there's no way. There's no way you can account for any of this. You can't. You can't account for.
We'd all be eating each other's heads still.
Yeah, you cannot account for the technology unless there was a fatherly, or you could say motherly, race of aliens that would just be like, here you go, here's an extra, here's the thing, here, let me show you real quick. I'm gonna be a stranger, I'm gonna walk out of the woods and I'm gonna show you how to make fire real fast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you want let me show you what titanium is.
No, that's what I mean. I feel like I'm like driving around in my little Honda Civic, right? I don't own one, but imagine this. I'm driving around a Honda Civic and this is all the world knows is a 4-cylinder. And then some dude shows up from the middle of nowhere and says, let's strap 2 turbos onto that thing. Yeah. And you're like, holy shit, what's a turbo? You know what I mean? But then after that, there's that realization that you can do more.
Yes.
So someone comes down and says, okay, here's what your genetics have been like. We have a more perfected version.
Right.
Let's come down and let's bring these things together.
Well, Epstein wanted to do that with his DNA.
What are you talking about?
He wanted to create a superior species. It's on CNN. Or New York Times. Yeah, type in Epstein DNA. The perv, the guy with the 1% making I always tell people.
Oh yeah, he wanted to seed the human race with his DNA. What's so special about his DNA?
Well, because he's
wearing a Harvard sweatshirt. Does Harvard have anything to say about that?
Well, he also he bribed all the scientists.
Jeffrey Epstein.
We know what he was doing. This is so easy to figure out. I don't understand why this is a big mystery. You have laws that need to get passed in countries all around the world.
Yeah.
You take a person that's a scientist, that's kind of geeky, maybe he's not getting laid very much. You tell him that there's going to be presidents. You send him an invite, a special invite in the mail. You tell him there's
float their ego.
There's going to be presidents there. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. Hey, it's a great getaway. There's an island. Mm-hmm. We're not going to tell you, but there's a shitload of cameras.
Yeah.
Because they found all this cameras. They haven't found the videos.
They don't got footage yet.
Yeah, that's what they're supposedly. But
this is great.
So you go to this island. Next thing you know, there's all these beautiful women around. You get introduced to one. She takes you to this back room. You don't know it, but she's 16.
Oh, see?
And then you're getting videoed. Then next thing you know, on your computer, you're on checking your email or whatever, and you look, and you're the top scientist for climate change or climate stability or whatever, and you click on the video, and there's a little preview of you, and then shows it and says, hey, by the way, this is a 16-year-old, and I need you to, you're going to stand before Congress, or you're going to do this. That's what was happening constantly.
Where is this island?
Epstein Island?
Yeah.
It's for sale.
No, but
somebody may have bought it, but...
Yeah, but where is it, though?
But there's more islands, bro. There's more of these facilities.
No, this isn't
down.
the first
one. What's the one that Alex Jones busted into?
Oh, you talking about
that forever?
Oh, you talking about over in California and stuff like that?
Yeah, and that was like a big gay festival thing.
What the heck is it when they're burning that giant owl in the woods? Why is it
Malek or Moloch or what's the god's name or whatever?
Why is this escaping me?
I mean, he went in there. I mean, you may not believe him, but he did. There's videos, yeah, and you can read about it. What was that? Bo, we both know what this fucking thing is called.
Why is this not? Why is this not coming to me?
There's Epstein had a ranch here in New Mexico too.
Really?
Yeah, that they all came to.
Why does he have this giant mosque looking thing? You know what it reminds me of? You know where they keep that black piece of meteorite, that holy thing over in the Middle East? Again, the word is escaping me.
But don't you think? So you have a big mosque, right?
Yeah.
Does that look Jewish to you?
This thing don't look Jewish at all.
What does it look like to you? What is the building on Epstein Island look like?
Yeah, you talking about the one that's blue and white?
Mm-hmm. That's the colors of Israel's flag, right?
Yeah, it's got.
Do you think that's Mossad anywhere around there?
It's got to be. No, it has to be.
Like
deep Mossad, where they still have.
Bill Clinton.
Like going into
Bill
the
Clinton
CIA.
went there 26, 27 times.
It's like I'm going to the CIA, but I'm doing religious rites in the CIA.
But Bill Clinton's easy. He's like, Jeffrey F can come to him and be like, hey, by the way, we've got some women there. And then Bill Clinton would be like, oh, women.
On my way.
I love the ladies.
Don't you think, you know what the funny part is? Somebody had to build this stuff. Some construction crew showed up and was building this. Don't you think one of those guys somewhere is aware of what is actually built here?
There's probably, had their lives
it's not like
they're dead.
It's not like Jeffrey
all
Epstein
died.
wired in the cameras himself.
No.
Well,
all those people are probably dead.
Yeah, that'd
be my guess.
Where are they?
Because that's what they do.
I want to know what's in there. Jeffrey Epstein doesn't build elevator shafts.
No.
A construction crew does that.
But you talk to the top 1% of the world.
You got me totally sidetracked.
You talk to the top 1% of the world.
Yeah.
You go through and you're getting all these world leaders.
Yes.
I mean, he's got Bill Gates, all of them. Bill Gates' wife, when she divorced him, went to an attorney in New York, and these documents leaked, saying, I'm worried about his connections with Jeffrey Epstein, and it hurting the Gates Foundation. So, so she knows something's up. She knew her husband was going there and doing whatever. We don't know what he was doing. He could have just been hanging out and having fun, without sex or women or whatever. Maybe there was other stuff. Who knows? Maybe guys wanted to have the ability to be able to talk in total privacy.
Yep.
And be on an island and you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Did you see his picture of Bill Clinton he had?
You got me so sidetracked.
Type in Epstein picture of Bill Clinton. This was in the island right when you walk in the door of the house. Correct me. Tell me where it was at, where the picture was at.
The second they walk in the house.
Make sure it was that. I want to make sure my facts are right.
It's
Bill Clinton. Do you see the picture?
Oh, Bill Clinton getting a massage from the Epstein accuser?
Well, no. There's not that. That's another thing. But it should show, say, Bill Clinton painting Epstein. I'll Google that.
Oh, you talking about in the dress?
Yes, in the dress. Where was that? Does it say where it was at? Isn't that funny? They have a huge picture of Bill Clinton in a dress, wearing heels too, right?
Oh, it was in Epstein's New York mansion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck is going on.
Well, you have to understand this too. You're a multi-billionaire. Let's say, I mean, these top elite billionaires. Mark Zuckerberg aside or whatever, but let's say these old school billionaires.
Yeah.
And you've got some senator in Kentucky I was making this up, or Connecticut, wherever.
Right, yeah.
And he thinks he's hot shit, or she thinks she's hot shit. And he's got a lot of business going on in Kentucky, and he needs to get that shit done.
Yeah.
And Epstein's like, not a problem, sir. Mm-hmm. You know, Mr. Billionaire, not a problem. I got this.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. I'll do you a favor.
Yeah. And so now there's all these networking connections. They've compromised the senator.
Do you know what it reminds me of, that painting?
What?
Sokolsky. Remember the
yes.
What do you call those people? Why I can't think of any like fucking words this morning. Sokolsky.
We haven't drinking enough coffee.
He was the guy who does the modeling.
Yes.
Sculptor.
Yes.
Damn it.
The Polish guy.
Do you remember when Hitler was like, "Hey, I want to commission a painting from you"?
And he took his money and then
he made him dress up in a dress.
Yes.
There's like thematic things that continue to happen. You know what it tells me? That the way they're perceived by other individuals, that's not where the power sits.
No.
They're putting the person in a dress to almost, you're making fun of the fact that they are frankly powerless.
But there were a lot of traditions. Like we did one, like a shellback tradition in the Navy when you cross the equator. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of weird stuff that we did. And this has been happening since like the 1700s. The shellback tradition on naval ships.
What is a shellback tradition?
So I have a big diploma somewhere around here of it, but it's
from
like King Neptune and all that stuff. But so this has been going on. How long has type this in the shellback? Type in shellback initiation. How long has that been going on?
The stuff I'm searching here. It's just all ass backwards. What
is
are
a great
they
episode.
doing?
Oh, dude, it's I'll tell you what I did, but. How long has that tradition been going?
I'm looking. These photos are actually astonishing
And disturbing, probably.
Yeah. I didn't even, or it's called a polywog.
Yes, that's what you're a polywog, yeah.
Yeah, this is super effing strange. 1775, U.S. Navy and the shellback ceremony.
Okay, so since 1775, I was right. Since 1775, people have been doing, even before then, we have these weird, especially in the old days. So you take like a 70-year-old guy or 90-year-old guy or whatever. They're used to these traditions of doing weird shit. So we did really weird shit. We had to wear underwear on backwards. We just crawled around in our underwear. They would like fucking shove shit in our underwear.
Yeah, that's what
real gay shit. Yeah,
that's what I'm reading about.
And then we had like a big, black chief, like Master Chief, and he would put whipped cream on his belly button.
Yeah,
and everywhere you go, you have to crawl.
That's what I'm looking.
And we would like lick the whipped cream out.
Reminds
with the
me of like a frat house.
Yeah, it was kind. But I mean, these initiations are back in the day were pretty common.
Next,
so putting a person in a dress is no big deal.
No big deal. But the polywogs kneel before the king, kiss the royal baby's belly, which, according to some accounts, is covered in grease.
Well, I'm glad I had whipped cream. That was way better.
Yeah,
on black skin, whipped cream, it's delicious.
Davy Jones.
Huge fat guy.
Yeah, it's awesome. After breakfast, which is made too spicy for the polywogs to eat, served with coffee and salt water, the accused appear before King Neptune, who sit in judgment. Like, what?
They were spraying us down. So they took big so I was puking the whole time. Here's the reason why. So those big industrial trash cans. Yeah. The big, thick rubber ones are kind of heavy, you know?
I know, yeah.
So they took for a week, they took the trash, and it's really hot, equator, so it's really hot. And they put it outside and let all the food from the chow hall, they let it spoil out in the trash. So then what they did was they took all the spoiled food and they smeared it in your face, they shove it in your underwear, they smear it all over your body. They make you eat like fucking
house. It's so weird.
But so I was just I can't handle that shit. So I was just literally. Luckily, they have like on the flight deck and stuff. They have the big fire hoses.
Just spray it all off.
They just spray you. Like it hurts though because that's a lot of water. Salt water. Yeah. It's just like you gotta hold yourself because you'll fly over the side.
The nonsense you have gone through sometimes astonishes me.
But I look
story time.
So here's my thing.
PBS's news show. PBS news show. Story time with Jason.
They tell me, hey, there's this Navy tradition.
Yeah.
You're a Marine on this boat, but it's a Navy tradition. Everybody's done it, and you've done it since 1700s. I'm in.
No, I know that. No, but think about everyone else.
I'm not going to be the one guy that's like, well, fuck this.
Oh yeah, all of us elites, we've been doing this since the 1400s. You know. Do you remember back when there was like blah, 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 this king in England? He was doing it. Oh, well, I got to do it too.
So I could see an MIT super bright mind, a young guy.
Who's a nobody
saying, hey, there's going to be all these Nobel Peace Prize winners. There's going to be presidents there.
On my way.
Here's an invitation to a cool island.
Yeah.
Okay.
On my way.
You don't know. And then next thing you know, you're drunk and, there's...
How long is this island probably around for?
Well, he had several. He had so much money.
Well, what's incredible
he was funneling.
Is that only now something was said.
Dude, this stuff's been around.
Making sure people don't have wires, no cameras like that. Well, imagine the security when you show up to the island.
Yeah, I was watching the battle between Alexander and the Persian King Darius the Third. Darius, yeah. And it was very interesting to understand Persian culture, and so whenever you look at the way that they would prepare for battle, they would go into battle, some of the ceremonies that they did.
The Persians.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy. Well, I mean, on all, even the Romans had that, they carried little boys with them that basically were like 10-year-old boys that carried their shields around, but they had sex with them.
Yeah, shield bearers. Well, the Romans, they didn't really care about anything.
Yeah.
But even on Alexander's side, there were specific trumpets that they would sound. There would be like specific like slamming against the stuff, specific chants that were made, the way they lined up. There was like
their shields had like special like octopuses on them. And
that's
like
correct.
Pretty wild shit.
Or like for instance, like Alexander would have Medusa on his chest plate.
Yeah.
It was almost like he would call to say that it's the female power which men are truly scared of, and when he would conquer them in battle, he would have the power of Medusa to do so.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like crazy shit. Like who came up with human sacrificing? I'm rewatching Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah,
so you have, which is kind of sad, but they call it Love and Light.
Yeah,
the Lord of Love and Light.
It's not,
which is nothing to do with Raw, but but it's so funny how, because no God would ask for you to take the free will of someone else
ever.
And in the show, it mentioned that the old guy comes to that king and says, you're going against someone's free will. He says that, you know. So it's so interesting to see that we would think that we get special power by taking someone's life.
I think it was a perversion.
Or a virgin. Like, I need to sacrifice a virgin.
Yeah, I think it was a perversion of priests who understood certain...
So we don't have that now, though, right, with our priests. They're all good.
Yeah, they're great. They're fantastic. No, like, I think it was a perversion of power where your ultimate power is taking someone's life.
Yes.
So if you're having people, check this out, do ceremonies for you, or you're the one doing the sacrifice, you have the ultimate power to that collective of people who can't read, don't know any better, all those things.
We're also playing on, like, on the Game of Thrones. That guy didn't care about any of it. No. He just wanted power.
That's all it is.
So he's like, if I need to use her,
then I'll do that
to gain this, and I got to sacrifice these few. So now in his mind, he's justifying it. Like, oh, I only kill 4 people, but I get this. I unite the 7 kingdoms.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting what people justify for power.
Yes,
and this will bridge us into our next part 2 of the Epstein special. See you soon.